Alright, here we are again. I'm going to do some Jeep upgrades. Today I'm going to install the Rough Country steering stabilizer. Alright, here is the Rough Country dual shock steering stabilizer kit for the Jeep JK. I'm going to go ahead and this is what I got. I've recently lifted my Jeep, put the 4-inch Rough Country lift kit on it. If you want to see that video, click right here on the little pop-up thing. If not, check the description below. Anyways, this is the kit as it comes, and these are really stiff. Yeah, it's not moving. So these aren't, puny to say the least. And on top of that, you have 2 of them. So these will allow you to really increase your tire size and not have all that extra force slamming your steering components. Because when you add mass, to the steering components, as far as to your wheels, all that extra torque and load get focused on your factory steering components. These guys basically bolt directly to the axle and absorb the impact that the extra large wheels put on the whole system. If you're experiencing death wobble, these should help unless you have worn components, because there's a couple things that can cause death wobble. One is worn components, but if you have a fairly new Jeep and you put really large tires on it and your alignment is just slightly out, or if you hit a bump just right at the perfect speed, you will get death wobble. And yeah, it's a perfect storm, but it can happen, and you don't want it to happen ever, because when it happens, you're really putting an enormous amount of load and wear and tear on your steering components. Overall, like when I was looking to buy this, I wanted to know how stiff the shocks were. Were they, I was wondering, do I get 2 of them because individually they're super soft? They are not. Individually, they are extremely heavy. I mean, I'll put all my body weight on this, and I can move it. That's me putting 200-some pounds of force on it. So also, another question you might have is, am I still going to be able to turn the steering wheel after I install this? I'll let you know. All right, so I'll be back in a second. This will be installed, and we'll see how it worked. Okay, the first thing they haven't told you about installing the Rough Country dual shock steering stabilizer is that this guy right here is extremely hard to get off. This bracket right here is made out of 1/4-inch thick steel, and you have to bend those open enough to get that off the tie rod. So make sure you eat your Wheaties on the day that you're going to do this, because it is going to take some serious force. The easiest way to get this guy off is take a wrench like so, then hook a pipe wrench, a really big pipe wrench, onto the bottom like so, and then flex like so. Here you go. And I just busted my shin, but hey, it's off. So, by far, that's going to be the hardest thing to get off when installing your Rough Country dual shock steering stabilizer. Quick tip, make sure you put this bolt through the bracket before you put the bracket on, because once you put the bracket on, you can't get the bolt in, and you'll have to take everything off. You'll see how I have this mounted. Everything is loose. Keep everything loose until you're finished. There's an example of what not to do, because now I just have to take that off and put the bolt on. There's no way to get the bolt into there after you've done that. So, quick tip, that will help you do this quicker than what I've done it. Have a rough country lift kit, you're going to have to remove this bracket because it's going to be in the way. This is your bracket that relocated your original steering stabilizer from there to there. So you're going to have to take that off. It's going to be in the way. Make sure you put these two bolts back in after you've removed this bracket, so that way you keep the structural rigidity of this guy, okay? Okay, it's all installed. That's what it looks like. Got everything tightened down. I'm gonna go take her a spin. We'll see how she drives. And I'm driving down a bumpy country road at, I don't know, about 60. And you can see just a couple fingers is all it takes. I'm gonna go ahead and grab it for this car, but so you can see it's really not fighting me all that much. And anybody who's driven a lifted Jeep without an upgraded steering stabilizer and who doesn't have a flip kit for their tie rod, drag link, and all those other components will understand that, you know, being able to hold your steering wheel with one finger on a really bumpy country road at 60 miles an hour is pretty impressive. So I would highly recommend the rough country dual shock steering stabilizing kit. I decided to quick capture some footage on the highway. This is with my rough country 4-inch lift kit and the rough country dual shock steering stabilizer kit, and this is on the highway. We're doing about 80. So a lot of times if you have a lifted Jeep, this isn't something you can do. Sometimes you can, but just want to give you confidence. If you get the rough country 4-inch lift kit and the rough country dual shock steering stabilizer kit, those two together, you have pretty good handling.